Hey everyone, it's Zoombeanie here, and before we start this whole long-ass video, most likely, I want to let you guys know that you should definitely subscribe to me. Hold on, I left my closet light on. Alright, there we go, all good, but anyways, like I was saying, you should totally subscribe to me, like, right around this area, in this locale. It'd be really freaking epic if you did, and, it'd be really cool. So, you know, that's just a little bit of a food for thought before we start talking. But anyways, I want to let you guys know that musicals are the bane of my fucking existence. I don't like most musicals, like, at all. I wouldn't say hate, because hate's a strong word, and I don't hate anything. But I just don't like a lot of musicals, like Hamilton. Not a fan. Name another musical. You can't, because they don't exist. Musicals are fake. Except for one, which I really like, and is the only one that I'll ever like, most likely. It's called Heathers the Musical, and it didn't even start off as a musical. It started as a movie, which is okay at best. And so, you know, I thought I'd just make a long video talking about it, not really analyzing it because I don't have the skills for that, or I just don't feel like putting that much effort into a video. But, yeah, we're gonna go through it, compare and contrast to the movie and the musical a little bit, and I'll just give you some of my opinions on some of the songs. I'm not gonna go, like, too in-depth because, I mean, they're songs. I mean, I'm not gonna be like, this song changed my worldview. It's just a musical, dude. It's a dude singing about slushies. It's not that deep. But anyways, let's get to it.
While the original movie is a cult classic and silly in its own ways of outdated humor, numerous slurs against gay people, and also waving a gun around and shooting off blanks in a school like it's nothing, I'd say Heathers the Musical is far different and way more enjoyable in my opinion. So, let's say you just were introduced to Heathers the Musical, and you're wanting to watch it, because I just mentioned something about it. Well, the first ever song and like the first beginning of the musical really tells you what the hell a Heathers is. The song/expedition dump really describes how much teenagers suck mega donkey balls, and also just the student body's infatuation with the Heathers. Okay then. And in around the same scene, or like in the same song, it establishes that bulimia is so out of date and really reinforces that the main character, the main Heather, the one in red, not the main character, excuse me, but the main Heather, the one in red, is the worst person since Himmler. But anyways, Veronica says, blah blah blah, let me dress like a dork, just like you guys, and they're like, oh well, okay then. Then immediately after that is the best song in the musical.
Honey, what you waiting for? Welcome to my candy store. Oh, it's recorded!
I'm gonna be real with you, I feel a little fruity after I listen to that song, but it's okay. I wrote this video in June, so it's alright. Then we get introduced to the next main character after the song, who is not your average guy, and just a lonely outsider, followed up by a fight, which kind of goes hard, but it's honestly, the song is honestly not my favorite. Just a note I'd like to add about the differences between the movie and the musical, which won't be the last time I say something about it, but instead of JD shooting blanks at Ram and the other moron, like in the movie, they just get into a fight, which is far more realistic for obvious reasons. After this, we cut to Veronica going to the gas station, being ready to go, you know, to the biggest party in all the whole school year, and then talks to Mr. Why So Serious? And has a whole musical number about how his life sucks, and he creams his jeans every time he sees a slushie machine. Honestly, it's not that bad. Slushies are kinda ass, so I can't really relate. After the corn nuts are acquired at the gas station, we go to Ram and Kurt's party, where we find out their dads are also BFFs, and we also get my girlfriend's favorite song, but I'd say my second favorite song in this whole musical. I tell you what, parties are lame as hell, but if it was as hype as this song, boy oh boy, I'd be there every single time, twerking my butt around. I also forgot to mention, but this whole Heathers franchise really is the most accurate depiction of high school, but it could never be performed within 50 feet of a school. If Heathers was a person, it would be legally permitted to stay at least 3 yards away from a school at all times. Netflix has not a fucking clue what goes on with teenagers at school, I tell you what. Anyways, after that great song that is just amazing, we get more bullying with Martha Cumfuck, as they call her. Yeah, they just are really mean to her for whatever reason. I guess just because she's, like, plus-sized a little bit, but, like, just wait, like, 30 years, Martha. It'll get better for you. Veronica gets into an argument with the leader of the lip gloss Gestapo and throws up all over her, which is, and then she like, Heather Red threatens to like make people not like Veronica. Oh my gosh, what a scary threat. I feel like you can survive that, Veronica. Stop being such a dramatic girl, jeez. But anyways, we get blessed to listen to another fire track called Dead Girl Walking, which is not appropriate at all. Because, I mean, who in the world breaks into someone's house like that? And that is the only inappropriate part of that whole song. Anyways, our two silly little goobers, JD and Veronica, go to Heather Red's house and just walk in like that's a normal thing, which is only something white people would do. They start to make her something like a hangover cure or whatever, and then JD gets the bright idea to poison a human being just because she's an asshole. Obviously, Veronica brings up the fact that she wouldn't drink something that's bright blue, and his idea is to put it in a mug. Like that would fix it at all. This is one of the elements from the movie I feel like they should have changed, because when you're drinking out of a mug, you still see the liquid inside of it. You can still look. I mean, she's hung over, but I mean, that doesn't mean you're like mentally impaired. You can... Okay, whatever. Let's move on. Anyways, Heather tries to force her fetish onto Veronica, but they grab the wrong mug and just kill her, and she falls over and dies. Then after getting their fingerprints all over the crime scene, they stage it to look like Heather Red killed herself, which you are going to see a lot of in this musical. Another thing about this movie versus the musical is that in the movie they killed Heather like 20 minutes in like an hour, 20-minute long movie. But in the musical, it's like 40 minutes in, which I think is way better, and I'm glad they made that change, because maybe it's just because they had musical numbers in between, but I'm really glad they changed that and made it a little farther into the movie. Because when I watched the movie, I really felt like they killed her off way too early, because we never really like got to specifically know how Heather is and like really hate her for what she's doing. Also, they sing her suicide note and have a whole kumbaya about feelings and other lame ass shit like that, like any teenager wants to talk about that. And also, Heather's ghost is a thing in this too. That's another element they added to the musical, and that wasn't in the movie. But we can talk about that later. After Me Inside of Me, which is probably like my least favorite song behind the one Martha Dump Truck sings, JD's dad explains how much he loves to blow shit up, and is just really makes me uncomfortable, because just the dynamic between JD and his dad just really rubs me the wrong way. I feel like, I don't know, there's just something about it. And now we come to another one of my favorites, just because of how silly it is, even though the two characters, Kurt and Ram singing it, are attempting to date grape people. Yeah, it's still a catchy song that I'd be singing. And also the reprise to this song, which no matter what the song's context, the instrumentals go unusually hard. And then after JD gets his ass beat and Veronica gets called a hoe in front of the entire school, they start to sing a song about how their love is God, which is blasphemous. And then they like start to come up with this plan to like prank Kurt and Ram by luring them out with the intent of Veronica doing both of them. And then, accompanied by the murder of them. Oh no! Which they get shot, which I would feel bad about that, but we did get more evidence that they were terrible people, so I'm not really stressing about it. They staged their suicides, again with the suicide notes claiming that they died because they could never show their true love. And then, during their funeral, this song is just something else. We get a song about how their dads love their dead gay sons, which is honestly kind of sweet, but that's not the part I'm tripping about. The part I am like just amazed about is that how they're just like, hey, Ram or Kurt's whichever one's dad. Remember when we did each other on our fishing trip? And they're like, yeah, and then they just establish that their dads are gay for each other. Yeah, my dead gay son is honestly kind of sweet, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I also wanted to talk about how cool Veronica is with this whole murder thing and like staging it as a suicide. I mean, she's obviously mad, like any normal human being would be. But I feel like a more normal human being, perhaps, would break up with JD immediately and like report him to the police. Because I tell you, I know this is like kind of like a dark comedy, but why would Veronica not report him to the police? Or the police, I think, are just incompetent, because it's really hard to stage this as a suicide, as like two guys shooting each other in the chest. 17, is probably my least favorite song, or one of my least favorite songs, just because it really just does not have much flair at all, and it's just Veronica. Basically, the whole message of the song is her being like, "Bass, stop killing, don't kill 3 more people. You're being such a crackhead." And then apparently the only character with sense, the next day at school, she goes up, Martha dump truck, she goes up to Veronica and says, "Hey, I think your boyfriend killed Curtin Ram and maybe even killed Heather Red." And then Veronica is like,
"You should kill yourself now."
And then everyone just breaks out into a musical number after this about how you need to shine, shine, shine a light. Boy, the shit is fire. Also, JD is a part of the background choreography, which I think is kind of funny, because he just seems so out of place because he's the one behind all this, and he's kind of the opposite of what the message is about in this song. And then we get a double feature, like back-to-back songs, with Heather Yellow finally getting some character development and some spotlight, which she talks about her feelings and how much high school sucks. But then her ass immediately gets shut down, like, so fast, it's honestly comical. Veronica gets all pissy that everyone, including Heather Green, which I haven't mentioned up until now, just did that to Heather after they singed about, shining a light on your insecurities. And then Heather Yellow tries to kill herself, but I don't think that part's too important. And then after this scene, we get the power couple. Our what's the acronym? OTP or something, what like that? Only true pair. But anyways, they break up after JD shoots a gun in his own house, which is just really stupid and would probably make him and Veronica go deaf. And then after that, JD's all pissed off because he's a little crybaby bitch. And after I forgot if he did this in the musical, but in the movie he forcefully kisses her like a bunch. And that just really creeps me out. But then after this, JD goes and blackmails Heather Green with photos of her and Martha when they were kids, like in kindergarten. Number one, why would anybody care? Any sensible person in senior year would not care, because because I've met seniors before. At the point in their lives, they've been in school for 12 years. It's about over. They could give a damn about literally anything. So I don't think that the entire student body would throw a fit if they saw Heather Green with a slightly unpopular girl. And then Martha has a song which is honestly the most forgettable song in the whole musical, and it just doesn't sound good to me. I'm sorry that this is the only spotlight Martha gets in the whole thing, but it's just not my style. And she sings about some dead guy and how she's liked him since kindergarten, which I understand that, how you liked someone for 12 years, but I mean, dude, you had to realize at some point he hates your guts. He's also a date rapist, so I really don't understand. Oh yeah, and then also at the end of it, Martha jumps off a bridge, which I guess was important. Speaking of which, after finding out Martha almost died and is in the hospital currently, Veronica is haunted by the people she killed. Or she pretty much killed them, by the way. And I'm going to talk about this aspect a little more. They added Kurt Ram and Heather Red's souls, or ghosts, into the musical to act kind of Veronica's subconscious telling her that this is a really terrible thing to do. And I think that makes a lot of sense because it kind of visualizes her inner struggle a lot more. And with movies you can kind of do a little bit more than you can with musicals. So I think that was a really smart way to show that she's really having a more of a inner mental struggle. And then she gets into a whole world of shit by trying to convince her parents that she's suicidal, and this part is honestly a little scary. I'm not even gonna lie to you, because JD literally breaks into her house and climbs through her window during this song. And she locks herself in a closet. This is only shit white people would do. You never see anybody else doing this. It's only white people because they're so dramatic. After locking herself in a closet, and then JD does a whole villainous explanation, about his major plan with a killer score, which is to blow everybody up. Then we get Dead Girl Walking reprise. Holy shit, guys, this is probably tied with Candy Store to be my favorite song, because the last 20 minutes of this musical go so hard. It slapped my knee and set my hair on fire. This is the best thing I've ever seen. I just really like it. And then, Veronica just doesn't let anybody know that there's a bomb or there's bombs all over the school, which I feel like is a kind of a necessary thing to know because everybody's in the gym at this point. Like, I feel like she should have like pulled the fire alarm or like just let a teacher know. She just goes down there with a mallet, and then it goes down to the boiler room and tries to fight JD with a mallet, and then like tries to talk him down from like blowing everybody up. I mean, after JD's whole rant about society, why so serious? Money doesn't motivate me. But after they get into a little scuffle, and 12, well, shit, I guess Veronica won. I don't understand. Veronica has plenty of time just to leave the bomb on the ground and, like, not blow herself up. Like, leave it in the middle of a football field. But I guess it serves as a tool to, like, make JD die after his whole little musical number about how our love is God.
Say hi to God.
And then after she witnesses a man blowing up, she puts on the special red scrunchie which gives everybody superpowers, in which, I forgot to mention, but Heather Green put on and then started acting like a total douchebag. And then Martha whips a mobility scooter into that bitch, which I think is really funny.
Man, I'm finna whip this hoe.
But anyways, that's the end, guys.
Well, everybody, this is the end of me explaining the long-ass musical, and I'm sure this is going to be a long video because it has to be. But I hope this made you guys realize that I'm just a silly little guy and I'm so funny. And also that high schoolers are the worst. They are absolutely the worst. Honestly, this is like the most accurate depiction I've seen of high schoolers. Maybe not entirely accurate, but like, do you understand what I'm saying? Probably not. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm sorry if I wasn't too in-depth with like the whole story and stuff. I didn't want to make it too long. And if you want to like watch the musical for yourself, the musical is free on YouTube. Don't tell anybody I said that. And also, it is the movie itself that came out in like 1990 is free on YouTube as well, I believe. So, you know, just look those up. You know, watch it if you'd like it, and come to your own conclusions. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye. Please subscribe.
3.14159265338462793284795028841971693993750105820974944. We're talking 3.1.